at the Phuket Sevens. Singapore taking on Chinese Taipei. And for a few yesterday, they would have fancied this as the final. But along the way, the Chinese Taipei team has fallen off the horse, while Singapore has gone from strength to strength. Welcome to the Asia Rugby Sevens Trophy, and welcome to the Phuket Sevens on the magnificent Phuket Island. TMO's locked in. He's ready, steady to rock and roll. The atmosphere is building. It is Singapore to kick off, and we're underway. Well, what a weekend the Singapore men's team is having. They've played with vigour, they've played with enthusiasm, they've played with accuracy, but they've played in a manner that a few observers of Singapore have seen before, and we all feel like we're watching something brand new. The Singaporean coach yesterday delighted with his young charges in the final game against Chinese Taipei, as his younger guys, some of them I think even under 20 years old, took it to the favoured Chinese Taipei side and came away with what will be, I think, a famous victory over Chinese Taipei. But now, ball in hand, Chinese Taipei in the blue, wildly and massively experienced and massively look at that, pace down the line, and he claims it. Comes in for a fairly rough landing, but Chinese Taipei, out the gate they go. It is game time, all right, ladies and gentlemen. 5-0 Chinese Taipei leading Singapore in the semi-final. And it's absolutely, well, what an absolutely magnificent start to the game by Chinese Taipei. They look a bit confused, dazed and confused early on in the day, did the team in blue. They felt possibly a little bit like bunnies. They would have come into the Phuket Sevens feeling like the big hitters, and rightly so they should. If you go down their list of wins in the Asia Rugby Sevens series, they certainly are on paper the program to beat. And on this occasion, they start the scoring off. 5 minutes left in this first half. Chinese Taipei conversion unsuccessful. Restart contestable, and they've knocked it back. So Singapore, ball in hand, and off they go themselves. Tremendous run from the Singapore number 8, Nathan Wong. Now it's picked up, and the response from Chinese Taipei takes him just down inside the 22. That's a rough ball along the ground. It's picked up and fielded. The one-on-one tackling today will have to be immense. Wong dives on the ball, commits his body, picks it up for Singapore, and they go away with it, and now they find some clear space. So, one-on-one. Not quite happening there, but that's a good drawn pass if he can get it away. He cannot. Chinese Taipei stretched here. Some support from Singapore, could see them go in from this distance, no problem. Now there's trouble for Chinese Taipei. Wound over the top. Look at the state of the turf. It has taken on a massive amount of water so far over the last 24 hours. Yesterday the downpour was amazing, and so it's not surprising to see things just a little bit slippery underfoot as we come to the first restart of the game. And Chinese Taipei down on their haunches, looking like they're blown up. It can't be right, surely. Not in the semi-final game. You'd be full of beans. Singapore making their way over. Well, he's made an impression, as is Nathan Wong from Singapore, wearing number 8. He has come into the action. He's a real go-getter. Chinese Taipei, tidy. It's sacked at the line-out. And a penalty for not releasing. This will be a quick play by Singapore, and it is. Hunting their first points. The chip and chase, will it sit up? Oh, it does. And Singapore, they go in beside the posts. And this has got to be convertible. 5-all the score inside 3 minutes. Singapore even it up with Chinese Taipei. And a win here to Singapore will send a shiver through the rest of the tournament. because it will show that their form in the day one and their win over Chinese Taipei in day one, it was no fluke. All in readiness now. Straight through the uprights, and Singapore assume a 2-point lead with just over 2 minutes remaining in this first half of the first semi-final. Well, he's gone from a long way out, isn't he? Tremendous, and if I've got that right, without seeing the number, Chong Yao Ting with the score. Will they play at it? They don't have to. They'll come back for the short arm restart on halfway. Chinese Taipei. Well, you wouldn't believe it, ladies and gentlemen, but against a lot of the other programs, Chinese Taipei look a little bit underweight. They've turned up here this weekend, full of condition. Minute and a half left in the first half. Good, solid contact and great driving run by Chinese Taipei's number 11. It's blown up, though. They'll consider the penalty. Will they take a penalty or escape? Scrum, restart. And this is a highly, highly attackable position. Remember, only 7 players on the field. When you've got 7 of them around the ball at the moment, that means there's acres of space. Question is, can they get the quick hook? Take the advantage from the feed. Looks good so far. Short side attack. There's the dummy. Look, he's run his players out of space. Footing out there's a bit loose. The start going, there was wonderful work by the Chinese Taipei player, but now it's Singapore take the ball, and if they can release their runners, they could be off again. Look, he might be a one-trick pony, but it worked the first time. Chinese Taipei player, good skills, down on the ball and secures it. Counter ruck from Singapore is outstanding, but timing from Chinese Taipei is all important. He marshals his men, and they're off again now. Chinese Taipei off for the line. Try number 2. And that takes them to 10 points to 7 right on the buzzer for half time, and they'll go to the break with conversion attempt to come. 3 points in the lead. Will it be enough? Well, what a great semi-final to get things underway. This next bracket of games will take us through the full hour, then we'll take another break. At the end of that, we'll return, and it will be finals time here in Phuket as the Asia Rugby Sevens Trophy continues. As well as that, the second competition in Phuket today, well, this weekend, I should say, the Phuket International Invitational for women, and that conversion could be worth its weight in gold. Taipei 12. My apologies. Chinese Taipei 12. Singapore 7. And that just came from a nice bit of timing from Tung Lun Kiu. Tung Lun Kiu, I should say. Just Johnny on the spot. He arrived there just as the counter ruck was coming through and revealed the ball. Well, Singapore didn't have enough players present to really force the issue, which is a shame. Half-time official score, 7 point. No, well, we know it's a bit more than that. 12 points to 7. Sounds about right to me. Also coming up in this brackets of game for the trophy semi-final, the UAE playing Thailand A. As we watch the opening try, stumble, fall, but score. They're fizzing on that one. They knew how important it is to take that opening score. Butchered the conversion. Tao Yang, on the toe he goes. That just superbly weighted speculator down the line. We return now, second half of semi-final number 1. Singapore 7, Chinese Taipei 12, and Chinese Taipei field their own kick-off, although the referee will bring them back. Bring them black? Bring them black? I think he'll just bring them back. And it will be lost forward from Singapore. Loosen and feed to Chinese Taipei. And this might be where the experience pays off. Chinese Taipei maybe seated a spot or two higher on the Asia Rugby 7 series. Big, strong, and playing with some real authority at the moment. It's good ball there, Chinese Taipei take it forward. Nathan Wong, good tackle, gets back up to his feet. Blown off it though, so smart work by Chinese Taipei. They try them the other way. No, it's a jink straight up the middle. Nathan Wong makes another big tackle. That's lost forward. He's made 2 impressive plays in this defensive effort. There's number 8 for Singapore. And 1 has yielded a turnover. So they'll have to be absolutely delighted with that. Singapore now. They try and get out wide if they can. Too difficult. Still Singapore with the ball. Spilled backwards. Picked up. Oh, great spot tackle by Chinese Taipei, but it bounces nicely for Singapore, and it will be Nathan Wong. Looks back, takes the count. Try time Singapore, they draw it up. Well, they came to get down, and they certainly are at 12 points all. Conversion to come. Just over 4 minutes left remaining in the game. They're not home by any means, Singapore. Chinese Taipei is certainly not out of the action, but who will be the one to take it out? And it's going to take the full effort. In fact, if you're using Deadpool speak, it's going to take a maximum effort. Wong. Prominent in the game, prominent in the tournament. And if you were picking the top 7 men's players out of this group of teams, he might just be the first name on everybody's list. Still, they go through and they take the ball. Wong is there. Not releasing is the call. It could be a card here as well. And there is. This is semi-finals football now. Absolutely zero jiggery pokery allowed. Some of you might be asking, well, what is jiggery pokery? Ask your granddad. Opportunity now for Chinese Taipei. Less than 3 minutes running on the game clock. Deep inside their 22. They try to set it away. Singapore defensive line though, looks like it's up to the task. So they shut the play down. Midway 22 and 10, 15 metres out from the far side. Chinese Taipei now float one over the top. They've got some space here and they've got some pace. Up the middle they go. Good passing by Chinese Taipei. Here comes the stepper. Here comes the man. Here come the points. Chinese Taipei. Oh, is he in there? They may go to the TMO. He's lost it forward. It is nothing short of a nightmare. Well, 3 or 4 bodies strewn across the park. And you'd be, well, you'd just be feeling like a right... To the TMO they go, and he'll want to have another look at this for sure. Almost certainly. No, the referee, rightly so, asking for a lot. The on-field decision was lost forward. Let's have a look. Now, terrific ball that. Chinese Taipei player, this has already scored 2 in this game so far. Look at the tenacity. Yep. Well, what's he saying? I put it down and then it's rolled backwards. Well, that'll come back to be one of the great defensive plays of the tournament. There's literally clutching defeat from the jaws of victory. Nathan Wong, he's just been done there cold. And he won't be happy about it. So, play on is the call. Singapore 14. Chinese Taipei 12. The decision's been made. Let's get back into the game, fellas. Singapore now probably feeling a little bit stung, and they should be feeling a little bit lucky. But you've got to make your own luck on the rugby paddock. There's no doubt about it. Yao Ting takes 2-3 steps forward into it. Nathan Wong's there, and he covers off beautifully. Now they've got the ball moving forward. Singapore looking dangerous. They hunt their way into the 22. That is a magnificent tackle. Bootlace tackle from Chinese Taipei. That was copybook stuff. There's a slice of cheese for you. He slams the ground and steps off the park. What more can I do? After a desperation tackle to bring Singapore down. Time is up on the clock. We're in the referee's time, and the referee is always right. Again, this could be a fantastic one. They've gone long, they've gone strong, and they've gone in for 5. That's a try to Singapore. They're going to call him for maybe being offside. They want to check his line. But it's all over by the shouting, ladies and gentlemen. That's a try to Singapore, and that's a nail in the coffin for Chinese Taipei. What a tremendous game. And you've got to feel good for the men from Lion City over here this weekend, while the whole town's engaged in Rugby Sevens fever back in Singapore. The Singapore men have come to Phuket and come here to do a job. They win the semi-final. Into the final they go of the Phuket Sevens. Singapore with a resounding win over Chinese Taipei. There's nothing wrong with the offside line there. And Yao Ting scores one. And that's a big one for Singapore. That's a beauty. Well, friends and family, if you're tuned in from anywhere in Asia, please make sure you give us a shout on the live chat. Up next, semi-final number 2. And this one is all important. And it's all important for the obvious reason. The Kingdom of Thailand taking on the United Arab Emirates, semi-final number 2. Well, it's a lonely life as a TMO. In a small room. Not much else to do. The kickoff comes back towards UAE. He's run into his own man. Thailand a little bit unorganised. Someone's turned an ankle by the look of it. Oh, yeah. Nasty stuff. That's right. Oh, he's just stood on the top of the foot of the Thai player. Rolled the ankle. Oh, yeah, that would zing too. He's a big man. Those ankle joints are pretty important. And the bigger you are, the more importance they have. So, an injury break here right now in the semi-finals action. Meanwhile, over the water in the Lion City, 13th place semi-final, England taking on Canada, and England currently leading that game 5-0. It's in progress. Ireland continue their winning way in the Cup quarterfinals, taking out the United States 14-12. New Zealand, they also progress after winning 22-14 after Samoa. Fiji make the move into the semi-finals for the Cup. And the UAE press Thailand at the Phuket Sevens and the Asia Rugby Sevens trophy. But a turnover. We'll see Thailand take possession. Meaningful possession, I should say, for the first time. So back it comes for Thailand, and good ball released outside the 22. Look at the harrowing defence from the UAE, but it's one man pick up and run. Now Thailand look to send it away. Far side, he's got one. Thailand from the tap and go. Lost forward. UAE will get the restart. Maybe just a few jitters here for the Thai boys. Oh, he got one hand to it. As old coach of mine used to say, if you can get one, you can get two. And possibly only means, oh, they just about scrapped the tight head. So, some good tactics up front by Thailand, or Thailand A, as their name, but they're certainly wearing the colours of the kingdom. So, if you wanted to call them Thailand, I don't think any of these guys would be particularly upset with that. Someone's got to get their hands on the ball. The referee blows it up in favour of the home side. And UAE under more pressure. just see where this goes. Of course, the UAE coaching team, Durant Gerber, Youssef Shaker, and the head coach, the main man, Apollo Perolini, all looking on from the sand as Thailand steer it away down the short side. And Thailand A take the opening points. Oh, yes. Opposite. Oh, he's featured strongly this weekend as an opposite. He's very distinguishable, classy, balanced little run-up, playmaker as well, wonderful skill set. Thailand for the extra points. It's not going to go their way, but we're in store for a very, very tight game at 5 points, 5 points to nil. Thailand heading semi-final number 2. Good finish by an opposite. They steady themselves again. They wanted to make that contestable. It won't be. It'll be a restart, back on the mark. Square one, they call it. Short ball back. Over the top. He is a big unit. The big bopper wearing number 1. Scored a nice try, a couple of nice tries, hasn't he? Emosi. Vinkanua. Opposite darts. Scythes through. Tries to lay it back. Eventually does, but he's been called for not immediately releasing. Ran away from his support too, which is a real problem. And what about this one? Oh, a touch of magic. What a touch. And it's 5-all with a conversion attempt to come right on the bell of half-time, and suddenly UAZ's main man keeps him in the action. So this semi-final, it's alive, and it's 5-5. Attempt, it's high and wide and potentially looking for a little bit of wind that doesn't exist. Half-time score, well, not quite at half-time, but if it was pulled out now, it would be 5-all. Not in 5-all though. And here's why. Vinkanua coming across to make it on opposite. Drops the ball cold, and that'll be the half-time break here at Surakel Stadium in semi-final number 2. Thailand, UAE, even Stevens, it is locked up at 5-all. 1 half remaining, and it's going to be a half of destiny for Thailand A and the UAE, as one of them gets ready to book its place in the final. with Singapore. All those halftime pitches. Two serious huddles there. Can't you tell? They change ends as we prepare now for the start of the second half. Semi-final number 2 of the Asia Rugby Sevens Trophy. Rugby making its full return. There it is. We're underway in this second half action. Semi-final number 2, and well, if he thought they were going to hang off and look at him, he was wrong. Vikanua ranging around, trying to get away from their own quarter. UAE, they look wide to the try scorer yesterday, scored a hat-trick in his final outing, but the referee has pulled him back. Foot and touch is the call. And it will be a Thailand throw to the line out. Well, pretty obvious, isn't it? How much Thailand would like to make the final here in Phuket. And the Kingdom will be wanting to represent well. Now they move it. An opposite, crafts it round. They're looking for players, they're looking for space. Good defence though by the UAE. Makes Thailand go back to the halfway and start again. Call is easy tackle, too high. They go again, there's an advantage being played. Thailand will know exactly what that's for. Here's the show. And again, that one just flying out far too far for the winger. And no advantage given in the end. They'd obviously run through it. So, less than 5 minutes remaining, semi-final number 2. Tuning in from all over Asia for these semi-final games. Taken down, that's a penalty. Too enthusiastic off the back of the set piece. UAE look to run it if they can, they do, they try nip. Opposite, he's challenged on the outside. Good ball off there. And now the UAE, well, what about this one? 4 minutes left, no one's got the game in the bag yet, but Thailand, they'll need a converted try to come even, and then they're going to need a third score. To take the win. And there it is. Next thing you know, it's 12 points to 5 with 3.5 minutes to play, and the UAE. Show you the good strength. Pretty good pace. By a man that looked like he'd rolled his ankle before. He's recovered well. Well, another restart. Hasn't quite gone the distance. Thailand now not releasing. Two and a half minutes remaining. Nail biting time for the Thailand A squad, the Thailand squad in general. Oh, trouble looming here. Thailand, they need to cover this off if they can. Oh, they've got to chase. It's going to be a runaway for the UAE. And it looks like they might have booked their place in the final later today against Singapore. As in the end, Thailand unable to keep the UAE boxed in their own quarter. That's an important try with a conversion to come at 17 points to 5. Make that 19 points to 5 and 90 seconds left on the dial. And you just about have to say that's a recipe for a victory. The UAE, again, led forward. He's lobbed that one in his face. And despite the effort by the Thai defender, he's the only one in the frame. And there's 5 for the UAE. What a turnaround in fortune. Now the kick goes long. Don't be too surprised if Thailand maybe get one in late here. They look on the outside. Steps in and through. Good defence though by the UAE. .20 seconds remaining. The dream might be over for this Thai A squad in Phuket as the UAE. Oh, they look to pick them apart down the far side. That's a good tackle. The ball spills. There's a penalty. And this will happen after the final hooter, which will be happening pretty shortly. Thailand, one last possession. And it definitely is the chip and chase. Been chased well by the UAE. Eventually picked up by Hatam. He fights the no-looker. Talking about what a harassing run. And the referee pulls the penalty. And that's it. Thailand A5, the UAE 19. We'll wait for the final official score. But the UAE travel to Phuket and end up in a final. Well, there it is, full-time official score. 19 points to 5. There'll be disappointment in the hearts of Thailand A. Dearly would have loved to have been in their own final in Phuket, but there's one of the second half tries. But what a telling try it would have been. Well, not would have been, what a telling try it was. It's Cornelius Stain. Got one down. After being in ankle trouble earlier on. Into the semi-finals now. And you're not seeing things, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Semi-final number 1 for the Phuket International Invitational. And it is Thailand A versus Thailand B. Kind of like a trial, I guess you could say. Thailand B to kick off. Thailand A to receive. Stand by for action. And we're off. Straight away, Thailand A. Oh, great defence. Super courage. Goodness me. It's one of the absolute stars, number 3 in yellow for Thailand A. Jirawan. Now they go even further. Bararak. Work it back towards the grandstand side. Jirawan. Just ghosting around, looking for an opportunity to get on the ball. It's not coming her way, but look at that. Good rugby player. Lends some support on all occasions. And a penalty to Thailand A. Well, that young lady front and centre of screen there, number 3. Jirawan has been nothing short of sensational. And for those of you that didn't tune in yesterday, you are in for a real treat when Jirawan secures the ball. They take another run at it, Thailand A. They're pressuring now this B squad, but that's hassling defence and it's untidy stuff from Thailand A. So, good work and all by the B team. In fact, some superb work. This game will be close, although fitness might be a factor coming into the second half. Try to Thailand A. Or is it? No, it's not. Well, just as well. I wasn't really ready for it. The pick up, the go. It's gone to a Thailand B player. Well, they can't get across the line for love nor money. That's been picked up. Penalty, though, for Thailand A. I'll come back. The referee says try it all again. Now they move it. And Thailand A eventually crossed the line for the first try. Well, it didn't work out as well as it could have done. fact, it was a little bit messy, to be fair, and the conversion's gone wide. So the try remains unconverted. Try scorer number 9. The season campaigner, works tirelessly on those restarts and made it very, very contestable, and the ball slips away into touch for the line-out restart. Well, Thailand A, recognisable. A lot of these women are from the Asia Rugby 7 series, playing in this Invitational tournament in Phuket, which also featured the Briars club from Sydney. Issued a wonderful invitation, and I don't think you're going to see a much friendlier exchange for a yellow card in international rugby than that. Can't be too often where the order to leave the field is greeted with a Y and a thanks and a smile. It's certainly a high regard and respect for the referee, as there should be on every rugby ground, everywhere in the world. Now, Thailand B. They go looking down the far side. Is there anything doing there? Would not appear to be the case. Penalty to Thailand A, Thailand B not releasing. Inside the final 60 seconds of the first half. And there could be an opportunity here for Thailand A to construct one final score for the half. Line out checks well. They look to run it out. They look to instead. They get drawn into contact around midfield. They work it back the other direction. And a wonderful piece of individual work. Just got to the outside and with the fend. Number 5, Tanaporn, one kid. Takes the score out to 10 points to 0. Conversion attempt successful. Wow. Fantastic work. At the halftime break, 12 points to 0. Thailand A leading Thailand B. Scrum now for Thailand B. Important for them to try and move the ball away. This Thailand A team suffocating them at the moment. Look at that. They'll have real difficulty getting off their line. Thailand B, they look for some space. Hope for some opportunities. It's not coming. It's not coming anywhere near them. Ball is there. There might be a penalty for Thailand A not releasing the ball. Thailand A player when she was tackled and an opportunity sits up now for Thailand A, and they take it, and they take it easily. There's a try. Straight. Banarak. Conversion not successful. Heads off possibly to take a rest and get those legs right for the final. Well taken try at close range. So Thailand to Thailand. Lost forward as she's received it. Back to the full 7 players now. Thailand B, 22 points to 0. They trail. The Thailand A side. Another change being made into the game. Runs number 9. Thailand A now. What can they conjure up? They take the tackle line on, and in the end, whoa, great defence. I've said it before. These Thai women, they're an absolute marvel on defence. Nothing at all intimidates them about coming into contact. And that kind of desperation is key for a good performance right across the team. That's enough to really pick the rest of the crew up. That's some pride in the line. 1 minute 22. Less than remaining, just over a minute. Referee does have the sole judge of time. Under the feet of the front row, I think that might have been the call. And Thailand A now get an opportunity. 5 out, 15 in from the grandstand touch. They push wide to Thailand as easy as you like. That's another try for the A squad. 27 points to 0. Less than half a minute remaining. So, conversion attempt a long way away. Thailand 27 points to 0. Time up on the clock. This will probably be the last play. Is there an opportunity for Thailand B to put themselves on the scorebook. Doesn't look like it, and at full time. It's all over. Thailand A, Thailand B. Well, plenty of vim, plenty of vigour shown by both sides in that semi-final, but in the end, full-time official scoreline, 27 points to 0. Off they come, both tied teams, honouring the crowd. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful, wonderful work. Both tied teams. Hats off to the Thai ladies. Second half try, should have won. Takes a couple of deep breaths. Scores that one. Semi-final number 2 of the Phuket 7, Women's 7 International, the 7th Women's 7s. Live stream broadcast. Well, here we go. Semi-final number 2. Singapore taking on the UAE, and oh dear. Now they roll one down, around and under, and the UAE defence won't give up the job, but they do give up the penalty. Jane Chan, I should say. Diversion attempt. Not quite on target inside 6 minutes in Singapore. And the closing action for the try, 5-0. A helpful penalty for the UAE. I'll take it from the spot now. Really going to focus this attack. Well, that may not have been exactly where to do it, but UAE with the ball. Pressing the Singapore attack, or sorry, the Singapore defence. UAE now looks like they've got some space, but they can't find the runner. They may not need to. They take it straight up the middle, and the UAE score their opening try for the semi-final in a kickable position. So the UAE, this will be an all-important kick for them. This will be a crucial kick. Slides down between the uprights, not over the crossbar, and it's 5-all. So replay there, good strength, good power. And the UAE certainly back in the running here in the semi-final. Who will be playing? The Thai Lady A's selection. Penalty against Singapore. They pick up and go again, the UAE. Almost tried to catch them napping. That's a penalty to Chong, ball in hand, looking for the touch finder. Gets it there. Loose in the backfield for Singapore. Chan puts a foot to it. They're trying to box their way out of here. Singapore as well as they can. The UAE cover it off and now set back towards the Singapore line. That's a terrific tackle by Chan. Now they're away again, Singapore. Can she get away, get free? Cannot. Brought down from behind, the UAE. They have the ball. They look for the space. It's not going to be out there. Tips it back on the inside. Bounces it out again, but it's lost forward. Referee playing advantage. And in the end, calls play to a halt this first half. Well, it seems longer than most halves. There's certainly some drama in it. 5-all is the call. Time off from the referee as he goes back to assess some injuries. Replacements due on for Singapore. They make a change. Victoria Chu checking into the game. Singapore make their way through. Singapore for the line. 10-5 with a kick to come, and it is kickable all right. Gets them up in the air and waves them around like she just don't care, but I think she does care. As the first half looks to close out. Chan gives it a mighty belt. And there we have it, 12 points to 5. Singapore take out the opening half in semi-final number 2. And they've got 1 foot in the final with Thailand A. And that's a great run for a very, very important try by Samantha Teo. straight away into second half action. Well, if the half was long, the break was short, wasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Barely had enough time to tuck their shirts in, but away they go. The UAE, they break out of the half, they head for the try line, and this one could set them up for an upset. It's 10 points to 12. Well, vitally important kick here. Singapore 12, UAE 10. They keep the 2-point lead. Try scored. Well, this game's clearly going to go down to the wire with 5 minutes remaining. Oh, ball a bit hot there. That's been lost forward. Lost forward, and now the UAE with a great opportunity. Jane Chan, well, she's made a lot of play. She's been featured in a lot of scoring action. She'd certainly be one of the players of the tournament and this Women's International Invitational at the Phuket Sevens. Look at this play. Great work by Singapore. The UAE trying to go wide. Now they'll go for the line. Through Vink, she gets brought down. But they get the ball away in the UAE, they score. And what a great score for the UAE. They get themselves up and into the lead, 15 points to 12. The kick, there's offline, 15 points to 12, 3-point separation. The women's game bringing all the action to the Phuket Sevens. Ball out. Well, it's not really bouncing Singapore's way. They talk about sevens, being a game of momentum. 1 minute, you've got it. Next minute, you wish you had it. Certainly can change, and it can change in the blink of an eye. Semi-final number 2. Phuket Sevens Women's International Invitational Tournament. Singapore in the red, UAE in the green. Oh, that was a lazy shot around the throat. And that's a slice of cheese and away you walk. And that's how it can happen. That's exactly how it can happen. And the UAE now find themselves down to 6 players with 2 minutes left to play. Just that split-second decision. Hung the arm out there, never really meant anything by it. The rules are in place to protect the players. The referee on it like a flash. So UAE forced to defend. Chong. Min Chong, she's got to pin her ears back and go. She turns. Looks to lay it off. They'll be looking for Chan if they can find her. Maybe they won't need her. And obstruction is the call. So Singapore. They make a mistake as well. Could be crucial. 3 points in it. 1 minute remains now. UAE with the ball, 40 seconds. Vink. Where will they go, the UAE? They bring it back to the heavy traffic. They've knocked that on. It's an advantage inside. Singapore. This is the last straw. Surely. This will be their last shot, and it looks like one of their key playmakers is down on the ground in the back. Look at that. That could be Jane Chan.
Yeah, time is off.
And if it is, oh, it is too. What's she done here? Courageous tackle. And it looks like she might have collected a hit right on the floating rib. And for those of you that have taken a shot in that area, oh dear, no, that's tragic stuff for Singapore. This lady has been turning on the goods for Singapore all weekend. Sad to see her split. Chong's ball over the top. They collide. The referee calls advantage. This will be the final play. Now the UAE go back to 7. So the advantage swings back to UAE as Singapore lose a key playmaker and the UAE bring back their 7th player. Well, that will take something special from here. Fair to say, if they can go in, Singapore, then they deserve to win. But the UAE, well, they've combined well in the semi-final. Hasn't been pretty, doesn't need to be pretty, you just need to win. Chong pokes one through. Will it sit up? And it does. It's Singapore ball, they've done well. Tries them on the outside, is this Teo, is it? Ball is there. Presents. They wait. Oh, what about that one, referee? Not too sure. Over the next one. Yeah, if there's one side you don't want to get into a grind out with, it's Singapore women. Chong, they're looking for someone outside. Oh, they're missing Chan massively here. Up and off the ground. The referee will call it. The referee will call it. Even though they're moving forward, it doesn't matter. And the UAE take the win. They're in the final. What a semi-final win by the United Arab Emirates. And Singapore left to lament what could have been. Oh, they've just come up short. They look disappointed, and rightly so. They put their hearts and soul into this tournament, into this performance, and they came up desperately short. 15 points to 12. It's full-time official. The UAE over Singapore. My heavens. Well, This is the try that set it all in motion. Started giving the UAE that crucial momentum. Sometimes when the kicks don't work, you just need to score tries. And guess what? They kept on scoring tries. Because the kicks weren't working. Then this, the yellow card, it looked like there was an opportunity for Singapore to come back and really make it count. But it didn't happen, and in the end, UAE 15, Singapore 12, coming up at 2:40 local time. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Oh yes, finals football, live from the Phuket Sevens, Sirikul Stadium, Phuket Town.